Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakak Wadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishop, to the priests, teachers, the evangelists in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom, to you sisters, you Aquathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson. And you know, let me backing off of what I've already did, about how the Lord, he fulfilled the, the law, right? It wasn't that he was doing away with the law, right? And that's ultimately what I'm showing you right here. I'm gonna go a little bit more. So it says, Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, do not think that I come to do away or undo the law of Moses, right? Or the writings of the prophets, right? I did not come to destroy, right? To put away, abolish, right? But to fulfill, right? And it says, yeah, that basically that's what that destroy means. I didn't come to destroy the law, which basically mean destroy, abolish.
Strong's G 2647, Katalawo.
Katalawo. Yeah, dissolve, dis, dis, this, unite, unite, disunite, disunite. What happens, been, what has been joined together to destroy, demolish, right? See, he didn't come to destroy it, demolish it, disannul it, right? Right, but to fulfill, right? That's what the Lord said. He came to fulfill.
Strong's G 4137, Plerao.
Prerajo, 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 right? Prerajo, to make full, to fill up, to fill, to the full, right? To cause, to be abroad, abound, to for furnition or supply liberally. I abound, I liberally supplied, right? Giving it all what was required, what was needed to render full, to complete. He just completed the task that needed to be fill message. Says wait, to fill to the top, so that nothing shall be wanting to fill measure, Yeah, nothing should be wanting to full measure, right? To the full measure of it, right? Yeah, to the full measure of it, right? And skip down right here. To make complete in every particular, right? To render perfect, right? To carry through to the end. Oh, that is perfect, right? And that's ultimately what it was. You know, he was carrying through the prophecies that was of him into the end, right? Not that he's doing away with it. He completely just said he's not doing away with the law of Moses, nor the writing of the prophets, right? Yeah, so just come back up here, just go into the root, see what it says.
Strong's G 4134. Pleiades. Pleiades.
Yeah, play race, which is similar to the way the other one was with, right? Because the other one was Roa.
Strong's G 4137. Plerao.
Raho.
Plerao.
Okay, Raho, right? And play race, right? Play race. Raho, play race, and it's quite similar to the wording. Fill up, as opposed to being empty. So the opposite of being empty, right? Hollow vessel, right? So hollow, it's just empty, right? Of the soul, right? Which Yahushua had. He had the soul when he was here on earth, right? Thoroughly permeated with, right? And that permeated means to spread throughout, and throughout the gospel is spoken of Yahushua throughout the whole gospel, lacking nothing, perfect, right? Because that's what made the Yahushua perfect. It's actually keeping all the law, right? So it says, Matthew chapter 5, verse 18, verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law until all be fulfilled. What's all that needs to be fulfilled? Well, first of all, he needs to come. The second coming has to come back, right? The second, because it says heaven and earth shall not pass away, right? Peter, I believe Peter spoke of the earth being dissolved. When was he talking about that? When did that happen? Right? And so this is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. It says, it tells you right there, the new heaven and new earth. So the Lord said, not one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass until all is fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall not pass. Right? So when is the new heaven and the new earth? Okay. No. The Apostle Peter states when the new heaven and the earth will be. It says, but the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will come like a thief, and then the heavens and the heavens will vanish with a mighty thunderous roar, right? Which is talking about the ICBM missiles, man. Right? The World War III, right? Which we're in the midst of, so that hasn't happened yet. Right? And the minerals, elements, right? All these things, the cars, the buildings, the things that's happening over here in Babylon the Great. The so-called trains, the hustle, the bustle, the planes, right? All of it will be destroyed with intense heat. And what's going to bring that intense heat, man? Intercontinental ballistic missiles are going to bring that intense heat, man. So that has not happened yet upon the earth, right? Right? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that happened, right? But we're talking about this thing is going to be so hot, it's going to melt the minerals, right? It's going to turn this place into the lake of fire, right? And it says, intense heat, and the earth and the works that are on it will be burnt up, right? This wicked and perverse generation is going to be burnt up. The rulership of this world is going to get put away, man, right? Right. So this is Revelation chapter 21 and 1. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, or then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, right? In the Amplified version, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, vanished, right? And it ain't going to be like it just vanished. It's going to be annihilated by hypersonic ballistic missiles, man. ICBMs, man. Giving intense heat, man. That's what's gonna melt this place called Babylon the Great, which is America, and then strategically missiles are gonna hit in other places in America, you know, places in Russia, places in China, places in Israel, places in Europe. You know what I mean? There's Iran, right? Saudi Arabia, all these different places, because they all got missiles, and things are gonna get real explosive in that day, right? You know, to say the least, man. Because arrows are gonna be shot into the ends of the world, man. Right? And there is no longer any sea, which it's not gonna be not a sea, but the ocean and the things because that's what America bragged about, that it was their job to manifest destiny from sea to shining sea. Well, guess what? The Lord is going to allow the missiles to destroy America so bad that it's not going to be a sea around it, right? You're not going to have the Pacific or the Atlantic touching this landmass anymore, right? Because not to mention that water is all polluted. The Lord has to allow the ICBM missile, that fire, that cleansing agent, to cleanse that part of the ocean, man. Right? Which is going to be no more. Right? Going to be no more Pacific shorelines touching over in California, and no more of the Atlantic touching the East Coast, man. That's how bad it's going to be. It says, I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, right? The new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven. God arrayed from God, arrayed like a bride adorned for her husband. And then the other one says, and I, John, saw the new holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from the power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, out of heaven, right? Which is really going to be out of the chariots, coming down with Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which the Father, the Yahweh, gave him the authority, right? It's going to give him the authority. It's going to give him dominion, right? Because they're not the same person. Out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, right? Perfect, right? Without wrinkle or blemish, man. I mean, ready? Yeah, so it says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet, which is talking about Yahushai, from amongst their brethren like unto thee, right? She's talking to Moses, which is speaking futuristically of Yahushai, right? So by this happening and Yahushai coming and dwelling amongst the Israelites is fulfilling it's fulfilling the law, right? Because this is technically law. This is what the Lord said was going to happen. This is in Deuteronomy, right? The second book of the law, right? So that's fulfilling law. That's all he was basically doing amongst their brethren like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth. And that's exactly what Yahushua was speaking. He said, look, I come to tell you what my Father have said. I come to do the will of my Father, right? I can only tell you what my Father have said. I can only show you what I've seen of my Father. And that's it. That's all he could ever do, right? That's keeping this law, right? It's in Deuteronomy. And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And that's it. That's all he ever spoke of, right? Right. So it says, this is John chapter 6 verse 38. For I came down from heaven. Hey man, Yahushua was giving them, the Pharisees, the business, man. Right? Because hey, you know they hated him for saying that, right? For I came down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. Right? I know they hated him for saying that. What? You came down from heaven? Oh man. They was vexed, man. And this is the Father's will, which have sent me, that sent me, that of all which he have given me. Ooh, see, he giving him that, man, giving him dominion over all this stuff, over the whole earth, the whole world, the whole universe. He's about to give him, right, real soon. But he definitely gave him the men, right, the elect, which all he's given, which all he have given me. I should lose nothing, right? You're gonna lose none of the elect, but should raise it up again in the last days. And so what? The elect, right? The prophets. The Lord's not doing away with the law nor the prophets, and those things are being raised up again within the last days, man. Right? And we're in the last days, and this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. Right? So we're in the last days now, and the elect is being risen up, right? We stood upon our feet, an exceedingly great army. Yes, as now gather yourselves in troops, O daughter of troops, right? Because what? This is a spiritual war, first and foremost, but it's going to get physical, right? Edom is going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. You know, of course, in 70 AD, and then now, once again, it's gonna be far worse than 70 AD, far worse than any time that's ever been since there was a nation, right? And says, and he have laid siege against thee, right? Which that's talking about the end, right? The very end, right? When Esau, Edom, our enemy, Satan, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, is going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, right? But prior to that, going back into the time of our Lord Yahushua, when he lived, they shall smite the judge of Israel, right? Which was Yahushua, with the rod upon the cheek, right? So that them smiting Yahushua basically gave us right to come back as the sons of Yasharallah, right? And that's the Lord fulfilling it. He's telling the end from the beginning. That's not, you know what I mean? Right? Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 50, verse 6. And I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that pluck off my hair, and hid not my face from the shame and spitting, right? So they plucked off the hair of Yahushua on his head and on his beard, man. Right? they smote his cheek. So this was all prophecy. This is all what was foretold that was going to happen to Yahawashi, who the world going to call Jesus Christ. This is what he was fulfilling, right? And not just that, but the bringing back of his people, man, bringing back the elect, right? For Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi will help me, therefore shall I not be confounded, therefore have I set my face like a flint, right? And when you go into the scripture, it says that as they were beating and hitting Yahawashi, he spoke not a word. He was hard, like a stone, like a rock, didn't move, didn't budge, didn't speak, man. He wasn't going to give them the satisfaction, right? It says, and I know that I shall not be ashamed. So even though all this stuff happened to Yahawashi, there's going to be a lifting up, and it's going to be a great reward for bringing back the sons of Yasha'Allah, bringing back the sons back to Yahweh, right? And that's what Yahawashi did. That's what he's fulfilling, man, right? He is near that justifieth me. See, Yahawashi is near now, right? Them smiting him on the cheek, them hanging him on the cross, it only made him nearer unto us than ever before, right? Let us stand together, and that's what we're doing, man. One doctrine, one priest, one bishop, one doctrine, one spirit, man. Right? Who is my adversary, right? Esau Edom. So Esau Edom, you want to come down with great wrath, knowing that you got but a short time? Okay, well, hey, who's my adversary? Right? Like David said, David said, what man shall I fear, man? I should not fear man. I should not fear what man can do to me, right? Salaki is saying it the more correct. Well, I should not fear what man can do to me. We're not afraid, right? Who's my adversary? Let him come near unto me, right? And it's going to be a time that the Lord is going to lift up a standard, man, right? Yeah, so coming back here to Malachi chapter 5, right? And they smote the rod upon his cheek, right? Plucked off the hair of his head and his beard, right? That was Yahawashi. That was one of the things he was doing to fulfill the law, right? Not to do away with the laws of Moses or the prophets, because the prophets spoke of him. You can't do away with Moses, which we brought that up, 18:18, Deuteronomy 18:18, that's Moses. And then we brought up Isaiah, which is a prophet. So the Lord can't do away with Moses or Isaiah, because Isaiah's a prophet, and Moses had to deal with the law. You can't do away with those because it speaks of him. He comes in the volume of the book. If you put away those things, then how could the Lord come? Right? And we're at Malachi right here. It's also a prophet, and he's speaking of it. It just says, but thus, O Bethlehem, Bethlehem, Ethra, though thus be little among the thousands of Judah, right? Because he had to spring out of Judah, right? Right? To be the son of David, right? Which he wasn't a direct son of David. It was the descendant of the descendant of the descendants of the descendants. And it tells you that there was 12 generations. When you go into Matthew 1:1, it was 12 generations into Babylon, 12 more generations, then 14 more. Right? Matter of fact, we'll get it. It says, Ethra, the little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come. Who he? The one that the Lord said in the law to Moses, I shall raise up one like unto thee amongst your own brethren. It's going to be him that come. Right? It says, forth unto, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, or Yasha'Allah, really is how you're supposed to say Yasha'Allah, whose going forth have been from of old, right? See, this is from way long time ago. So the Lord's speaking of this, the end from the beginning. to be ruler over Israel, right? Because we were talking about, oh, I brought up the new heaven and the new earth. So who's going to rule that new heaven and the new earth, which hasn't happened yet, right? So one jot or one tittle shall no unwise pass from the law, because the new heaven and the new earth is not established yet, right? Right? The rulership, you know what I'm saying? Isaiah said they had to smite him on his cheek, pull his hair, but he also said that he was going to raise up a remnant, and who's going to come and fight against that remnant, right? Right? So it says, who's going forth is from old and from everlasting, right? This is Yahweh Shai, man. He's always been and always will and always, man, it's always going to be, man. It says, therefore, will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth had brought forth, right? So what we went into slavery, went into the, what is it, the sub-Saharan slave trade. Well, we're actually the Roman slave trade first, right? Because it says 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution and slavery, right? When you read the book of Babylon and Timbuktu, right? Right? And of course the account that the Lord said, flee ye into the mountains. So we know this was things that had to come. Those are prophecies. Those are things that happened, right? 70 AD happened, and it was real. They actually fled. They left, right? In a certain way, things were meant to happen. It had to happen, right? Which travaileth have brought forth, right? What they're going to bring forth. Then right? Because we went away in slavery, but now the Lord's bringing us back, right? Then the remnant of his brethren, see, that's us. That's now. That's not talking about way. That's talking about right now. That's actually happening. He spoke about it in the past, but the Lord was speaking things into fruition. So now we're having it. Shall return unto the sons, really, because that children says sons, the sons of Israel, right? So we're returning, right? In the time we were discontinued from our heritage and didn't know, because that's what returning means. Because if you wasn't gone from it and you always knew it, now I got receipts all the way back to Moses. We've always knew. So if you always knew, then there's no returning to something. So that's what we doing. That's why people are so confounded. Like, wait a minute, how can you be people? Well, the scripture says that you're supposed to return. So that means that what? We lost our heritage. We're returning to our heritage as the sons of Israel, man. Right? Yeah, so when it says Matthew chapter 1, verse 17, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. So it's literally 14 generations from Abraham to David, right? And from David unto the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. So 14 generation of people. So it's the generations, his people. Those are his sons. The sons, 14 generations. Right? Carried away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Hamashiach, right? To Yahweh Shai, letting you know that this is the sin. So it's not actual David, because they were calling him the son of David, right? But they're letting you know that there were a lot of generations, but the Lord keeps receipts. The Lord have kept, and that's why you cannot say that the Bible's made up. Who keeps records like that? Exactly 14 generations to this man, for 14 men to this man, and all those men were anointed men for that specific reason, for that specific person, and that specific time, man, right? And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Hamashiach are 14 generations. It's exactly precise, right? These are the things that he fulfilled. It was precise, man, right? All right, so it says, this is Luke chapter 4, verse 14. And Yahushua returned into the power of the Spirit into Galilee. Yahushua returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the regions round about, and he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, right? And as his custom was, right? So he means he generally done it like a lot of times. It's a custom. It's like custom is part of like your nationality, or just part of the things that you do all the time. You're accustomed to doing it. This is things you repeatedly do. Like if you always go to a certain restaurant, certain location, it's your custom. This is things that you do all the time, right? But when you're dealing with a people, a custom is they like their nationality. This is what you know that they do, right? Chinese people eat Chinese food with chopsticks. We know this, right? You know what I mean? We know most. I mean, you may have few and far in between that'll just grab a fork or just grab their hand and eat the thing, but most of them are going to eat with chopsticks. We know that's their custom, right? So, you know, as he accustomed was, he went into the synagogue the Sabbath day and stood up for to read, and there was delivered him the book of the prophet Elias, or Isaiah, right? And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel," right? And this is the true gospel. The true gospel is the children of Israel are scattered amongst all different nations. And at this time, the Lord is going to raise them up in the places where they were scattered, to realize and to return to their nationality, return to their power, to their God. That's ultimately that the gospel, right? The gospel to the poor, right? And we're poor. We're in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations. We're in the slums of every nation, country, place in this planet, man, right? And a few jakes that made it and have some type of thing. You're still a slave, because you have to be a puppet to the elite, man. You got to get down with the Boule or the Illuminati in some form or fashion for you to have those things, which you're worshiping the devil, right? So name someone who's out there, got good money, good this and that, and they ain't worshiping the devil. Then you say, then now you're talking about something. Then I got something to look forward to if that was the case. But we know that ain't the case. The devil ain't gonna let you have that without having to owe him something, man. To bow down to him. No, we're the poor, the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, right? Poor in spirit, man, poor in mind. We didn't know we were the Israelites, right? He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, right? Heart goes into mind, which is your lob. So he's healing our mind. Our minds to what? To go back to the understanding that we're the Israelites, man. A reminder, man, right? And the places where it says you shall bethink yourself, man, in the land of your captivity, right? That's brokenhearted. Your broken minds, right? Heart goes into mind. That means our minds are broken, man. Right? We didn't know who we are. Now we do. To preach deliverance to the captives. And we're captives in the places that we're at, man. They refuse to let us go. We're in these prison houses called America, man. Even if you're not in actual prison, America in itself is a prison, man. They have control over our food, over our water, over our electricity, over everything that's done, man. This is prison, man. And recover, right? Which means he had us at one point in time. So it can't be someone new coming in. Oh yeah, you know what? Oh, I'm just newfound Israelite. I'm just Israelite by the Spirit. Yeah, I know I'm Ham. I'm Elam, I'm Moab, I'm this and that. I could just pop up. Well, this is to recover. Well, if you never are part of this, you can't be recovered. It doesn't matter. It don't make sense. Means to do again, right? Recover the sight to the blind, right? We didn't understand. We didn't know that we were Israelites. So the Lord's bringing back our remembrance of knowing that we're the Israelites, man. To set at liberty, right? And this is liberty, man. To know that we're the Israelites and know that, hey, if we die, we're going to be with the Father. To know if we die, we're going to be on those chariots first. We'll be part of that elect. We're part of that ruling class that's going to rule and come down when the new heaven and the new earth comes down to rule that new Jerusalem, right? That's liberty. To liberty, set at liberty them that are bruised, right? And we're bruised in a situation where we're at, man. The ghettos, the vadios, the reservation, not knowing who you are, you're gang banging, killing your own brother, killing your own sister, doing all these different things, adultery, homosexuality, all these things that defiles you, right? Make you a degenerate plant, right? Unto the Lord, or the Lord is like, I don't even recognize these people. These people had standards. I gave you the standards, the law, statutes, commandments. I gave you the standards, man. So how could you be opposite of what I set up, man? But that's okay. The Lord's bringing back a remnant, man. He's bringing back that remnant. He's waking us up, healing us from the bruises of our minds and our conditions, man. To preach the acceptable year of Yahweh, man. And we're coming into that year, man. Right? The Charagma is being pushed right now. World War III is on a high level, right? So we're at that acceptable year. And he closed the book and he gave it again to the minister and sat down, and the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. Hey, and that's ultimately what you're supposed to do. Your eyes are always supposed to be on Yahweh Shai, man. So if you understand what he actually fulfilled, and he not to do away with the law or abolish it or do away with any of this, right? It was only to fulfill the part of him coming back. But the second coming still has to happen. That hasn't happened. Right? He began to say unto them, this day, this scripture is fulfilled in your ears, right? So the Lord filled these scriptures. But not only did he fulfill those scriptures in their ears because he just healed them, right? No, the Lord kept the law, right? In doing those things in those healings, right? Yeah, so this is Luke chapter 17, verse 11. And it came to pass as he went to Jerusalem that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men which were lepers, right? Which stood afar off. And they lifted up their voices and said, Yahushai, Master, right? Which basically means teacher, right? Supposed to be teacher, right? Have mercy on us. Then when he saw them, he said unto them, Go show yourselves unto the priests. And it came to pass as they went, they were cleansed, right? So he said, look, I don't even got to touch you. I don't got to do nothing. I'm just going to tell you. And that's power in itself, man. The Lord just spoke it. He said, look, go show yourself to the priest. But why did he say, go show yourself to the priest? He wasn't just healing people and not keeping the law, right? He said, go show yourself to the priest. Yeah, so this is Leviticus chapter 13, verse 20. And if when the priest seeth it, behold, it be in the sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil, right? So these people had leprosy. It wasn't just a boil. They had leprosy across their whole entire body, right? Those 10 men. right? And this was the job of the priest. Going back to the Levitical priesthood, the Levite. This is dealing with the books of the law. So this is why he told him, now go show yourself to the priest. So he wasn't just healing them. A lot of these people, he healed them. He would tell them go see the priest, and sometimes he didn't have to tell them to go see the priest because the priests were there, and then the priests complained. Well, what is this man doing healing people on the Sabbath? Hey man, this was your job. If things got better, if it got healed, if it changed, you were supposed to pronounce that person clean amongst the people. Now he could be amongst his people again. But these people got so involved with lording over people that they forgot the love and the mercy aspect of it. Yeah, the laws are good, right? To keep correction and keep things in order so things ain't all chaotic, right? But it's not for you to lord over people, not to ever show anybody any mercy, right? Because the Lord, it says the Lord's mercy endureth forever. So who are you not to show mercy? It says, but if the priest look on it and behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, he's looking at it, right? There be no white hair therein, and if it be no lower than the skin, but somewhat darkened, the priest shall then the priest shall shut him up 7 days, so put him away for 7 more days. And if it be spread much abroad in the skin, right, which fully leopards, like how those dudes were, they were fully leopards, full leopards, right, abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague, right? So all 10 of the men were plagued, right? They were basically unclean. That's why he said they stood afar off from the Lord. They didn't want to come close to him or touch him, being that they were, they were unclean, right? And that's why the Lord just pronounced it. Hey, go see the priest. And it says, as they walked away, they became clean. As they started going to go show the priest, they became clean. See, the Lord just didn't do things just for the sake of doing it. See, but in Christianity, it makes you think that just things just happen. It was all by happenstance, and the law and the laws of Moses is done away with. The prophets is done away with. Don't worry, just do what you want to do. Just long as you feel like you're a good person, that's okay. God knows your heart. You're a good person as long as you think yourself as a good person, right? And of course, people want good things to happen, but you know what I mean. What are you doing to make sure that those good things happen? Right? Right? Because they'll tell you don't have to do any works. But the scriptures tell you otherwise. I'll show you you show me your faith, but I'll show you my faith by my works. That's what the scriptures say. Because love is an action thing. Right? You can't tell a woman you love her and you don't show any action that you love her. Right? You can't tell your children that you love them and you don't show your children actions that you love them. That is bizarre. Hey, kids, you don't have to have any rules. You can do whatever you want to do. I won't correct you. I won't spank you. I won't look at you in the eye and tell you, hey, I love you, but I'm going to have to spank you because you're going to become a contribute to society or whatever it may be. And you have to be an adult in the world, and things don't come like this. These people will kill you out in the world. But I'm just going to give you a spanking for now. Right? These are things, correction that you're supposed to have. And this, even under this is correction. Okay, look, you got this disease. I don't know how you did it. You must have sinned against the Lord, pissed the Lord off. Now you got this leprosy. We're going to shut you out for 7 days. And hopefully the mercy of the Lord comes upon you. Right? It says, verse 23, but if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. See, and that's the mercy of the Lord, man. That in itself is the mercy of the Lord. Hey, I had a bright thing, it was just a boil. It didn't spread. It didn't turn into leprosy. It didn't spread all over my entire body. It didn't give me leprosy. Hey, now the priest could pronounce me clean, right? And it's pretty much what the Lord did. Hey, look, go see the priest. And as they walked, they became clean, man. Right? Yeah, so I'm going to go to come back here to Luke chapter 17, verse 15. It says, and one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back with a loud voice, glorified the Most High, Yahweh, right? Bashem Yahweh Shai. and fell down on his face at his feet and gave thanks. And he was a Samaritan, right? So which one of those, those outcast Israelites? See? And so the Lord, even in that, was showing you the mercy of that, right? Because it didn't say he was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Doesn't say if he was one of the northern kingdoms that kind of stayed around, right? Because the bulk of the northern kingdom came to Arzareth, which is America, right? Which is Turtle Island, right? But there were a few northern kingdom that stayed there. But the bulk of what was there was southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. So most likely this was one of them, maybe Judah, Benjamin, Levi that were outcasts. But it could have been a northern kingdom person. It's not really saying. But in that saying that it was a Samaritan, it was an Israelite though that was amongst all those other heathens, right? That went into Samaria. He was cast out as a heathen. But even being cast out as a heathen, the Lord healed him. See? And that's a representation of us, man. We were cast out as heathen, and the Lord brought us back. He's healing us. So the Lord didn't just heal and didn't just do things. Man, he told him to go to the priest for a specific reason. Why? Because it goes back to the Levitical law, man. Right? So call Layim Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham, Rakal Qudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles in Connecticut. To the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth of sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all.